Hey, my name's Rusty Corhonen and I've got a story for you. We used to do a lot of logging and wood cutting and that kind of thing when I was a kid. There was a huge oak tree right outside my bedroom. I mean, big enough that I couldn't put my arms around it. It was sagging towards the house a little bit. It had a big fork at the top. My dad decided that it was time to cut that down because he was worried it was gonna fall over the house. Every time we cut wood or felled trees, it was never a simple process. It was always extremely complicated. Cables and pulleys and chains, come-alongs and ropes. This was no exception. When the project started, the compound bows came out and we started shooting arrows with string tied to the ends through that fork at the top of the tree. We finally got one through. I think it was my shot actually. And we took the string, we tied a rope to it and pulled a rope through, and then we pulled a chain up with that. The chain we hooked to a cable. The cable went through a series of pulleys. We set these come-alongs to it and just cranked those come-alongs down, 2 of them actually, so tight it sounded like piano wire or a guitar string. My dad fired up the chainsaw and we felled that tree 180 degrees from the house. It was a thing of beauty. And I remember my dad was really relieved that we did cut the tree down because in a good section about that much in the center was rotten. We cut that up into firewood, but the lower part of the tree was pretty clear and straight. So my dad had it milled into flooring. When we were done with that, my dad said, "Hey, I'll give you $100 if you take that stump out." Deal. So I started digging and I was chopping roots and digging and chopping roots and digging, and I got an incredible workout every day. I mean, by the end of the summer, I had these major calluses on my hands. I was actually getting kind of fit. I was getting frustrated because by the end of the summer, the stump was nowhere near coming out. I could crawl underneath it. I dug all the way around it, but there was something about that stump that just would not come out. I finally convinced my dad that I needed to use the come-along, and he wouldn't let me use it by myself. He said, okay. So we picked a Saturday and put the come-alongs together, and we started just ratcheting on that and started pulling this stump out. Well, the big taproot in the middle, which I couldn't get to because of the way this was situated next to the house, was finally exposed. I think it took us at least 3 days to get that thing out with the come-alongs and everything. I got under there, I started cutting with the chainsaw, and it was slowly starting to move, and just something made me stop. I shut the chainsaw off, and all of a sudden this stump just went pop, and it just leaped forward. I jumped out of the way, but the chainsaw wasn't so lucky. The blade just had a nice curve to it. So that was the first time that stump almost killed me. Well, this stump was at least 1,000 pounds. It was probably more than that. It was huge. My dad liked to put them in the river for fish cover. So he wanted to put it on a trailer and take it up to the cabin. We tried everything. We tried come-alongs, but the trailer kept moving. I knew some of the guys on the wrestling team, and after practice, they all showed up one day, and it took every ounce of energy of each one of us to get that thing up there. Holy crap, that's a heavy stump. Well, we had collected a couple other smaller stumps, and those went up without a hitch. Got them situated on the trailer exactly how we wanted them. We hooked the trailer up, and we were headed up north for the weekend. We're getting on the expressway, and a buddy of mine and I are sitting in the back seat. My buddy grabs my shoulder and says, "Look, look." And the trailer had come up off of the hitch and just started weaving back and forth. The truck started just gyrating back and forth, and all of a sudden we just went whipping around. The trailer went flying like a hammer throw. Those stumps went flying like they were nothing. And we came to rest right next to the highway, facing the right direction. The trailer was right next to us, facing the right direction. Nobody was hurt, no damage. We hooked up the trailer and off we went. Well, the next Monday, my uncle called my dad and said, "Hey, I was driving to work and I noticed a couple of stumps that I think I recognized next to the highway. What happened?" And my dad said, I have no idea what you're talking about." It was the stump that tried to kill me twice. Hey, if you like this story, and only if I've earned it, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Thanks.